right, everybody. Welcome on in to the Hot Corner Sunday night, June 29th, as the Giants lose a series to the lowly Chicago White Sox. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about where the team's headed, what this team looks like, what needs done, and we will probably vent and have some venters in the chat. So welcome, everybody. Welcome on in. It's Giant Sports Talk Live and NorCal Sports Network teaming up to bring you this show every Sunday night at 8 o'clock. And guys, man, unbelievable. Hey, wait, you know what? The Giants need They not only need Matt Chapman, they need Chapman Law Group, because this thing is there's some kind of felony what's going on or something right now with the way the Giants are.
I'm suffering some damages.
Yeah,
I'm suffering some damages.
Pain and suffering. Call Chapman Law Group if you're a Giants fan and you have experienced some pain and suffering, maybe some lost wages due to not being able to function during the day, and the Giants have you in a tizzy. Give Chapman Law Group a call. See if they can help you out. 415-613-9483. All seriousness, give them a call if you got any kind of legal needs. All right, that's it. Guys, I don't know, man. This is rough. This is game 40 today of 3 runs or less, and they played 84 games. I mean,
is this a bad stretch, or is this something more indicative of what's going on?
No, this is who they are. I think it's who they are. I mean, they weren't hitting before Devers.
Nope, they weren't. Correct.
They had Chapman.
Correct.
It's this is, just it's a flawed lineup. Okay, it's one of the things that talked about in the season going into it, that it's going to be a pitching and defensive team, and they're going to struggle to score runs.
Yep.
And it's, I said it a year ago on opening day when I saw the lineup. I said, this doesn't put any fear into anybody, pitchers, this lineup. And I look at the same lineup. Now, granted, you get Chapman, you get Schmidt comes back. Maybe things start clicking and things will turn around, hopefully. But you're in a stretch where you've lost 5 of 6 to the Marlins and the White Sox.
Yeah, that's bad. We're talking about bottom feeder teams, right? That's what we're talking about. Now, granted, Marlins are kind of on a heater right now. Did they beat Arizona today? They swept Arizona, so they swept the Giants and they swept. So they're playing better ball, but there's no excuse to losing 2 of 3 against Chicago White Sox. These guys are bad. Mark says this is who they are, a lineup full of 240. You know what? No, to be honest with you, I would love a lineup with a bunch of 240 hitters because the Giants would score more. The problem is it's not full of 240 hitters. It's full of freaking 200 hitters.
Right? You got Adames and Bailey.
If they're playing league average as far as the bat is concerned, they may be 15 games above 500. But because they're not, and and you have the pitching that is this out of this world, it sucks, man. Hey, he joins us. We just started, Glenn. You didn't miss much.
I ran out the door, got home. Dude, today I was at the greatest sporting event I've ever been to.
Already.
I've never been to a Giants game. I've never been to an A's, a Sharks. I've never been to nothing. I had more fun today. This was outstanding entertainment.
Well,
big win. Congrats, Glenn.
And they won big. Jesus, did they win big. Dude, nice. Steph Curry was there. I was talking to, what was that girl's name I was talking to? Christy Yamaguchi was hanging out with us. It was great. What a time, man.
Nice.
She's really nobody.
Hey, better than what the hell the Giants are doing. I'll tell you that.
Well, I'll tell you. The good thing is there was no show earlier this afternoon for us boys. I know you made your appearance, Eric, and so I've had a chance to calm down a little bit. Dude, I'm going to sit back for about 5 minutes before I freaking
Sure.
unleash. I just want to see what you guys, I want you guys to break it down amicably, and then I'll give you my point of view.
Oh, this should be interesting. All right. I think I've heard Lou, talk to us, man. What the hell's going on with the San Francisco Giants?
I'm going to bring up 2 points. Well, let's make it 3. First of all, you could tell who wanted this series more. The White Sox. They did all the little things. They did whatever it took to win. Giants right now are in a mood where they just think they can show up and they're going to win, and obviously they can't. I sort of forewarned this on Dan's show last week. We just can't show up anymore. This offense is so bad. It doesn't matter who we play. We have to show up. And one of the other points today is Giants have no balls. I'm just going to bring that out there. The management have no balls. After what happened with Wisely getting, Friday and Saturday getting picked off, he shouldn't even be on the team. I don't care if we don't have anybody else. That's pathetic if we have nobody that we can bring up. I heard the post-game show, and they said, well, Bill Lasky, we can't bring anybody up because our only guy down there got injured. Give me a break. This is the major leagues. You have 7 different organizations below AAA, AA. You have somebody that can come up. Don't give me an excuse because a guy that couldn't make it was our only guy to come up. I'm sick and tired of the excuses. Last but not least, it's 6 for 35 in June. Lee's a bust. Larry Krueger said, we're getting a guy from KBO. This guy is a bust. Last but not least, and I'll let you guys talk, I don't know what they got to do, but they got to do something. I don't know if they got to fire Melvin. I don't think they are because they're too scared. They should probably fire Pat Burrell, but they're blaming all the players. But, every time these guys try to do something, I'm sick and tired of all these homers. You got to realize something. We had one big problem. We started off 8-1. The Giants teased us. We're now below 500 since then. The only reason why we're even in contention is everybody else in our division are having problems. But you know what they're going to do? They're going to do whatever it takes. I mean, today, Lee comes up again. The guy walks a run in. And what does he do? He swings at a pitch that literally almost hits home plate, and it's a weak-ass fly to short. Okay? I'm sick and tired of this. The other thing, and I'm sorry, one more, is no team is going anywhere when you have Yaz batting 4th. I'll end it right there.
There you go.
Well said, Lou.
I know. Where'd it go?
It's. I'm going to try and I'll stay composed because we'll let the man with the pink hat go off. Can't have 2 guys be going off the rails. So
go off the rails. As Charlotte would say, the floor is yours, my friend.
Yeah, that's right.
I already did a little 10-minute instant reaction right after the game, so I kind of got a lot of it out. But guys, look, as somebody said, Aaron, I think this is. And we got to play that clip by Dennis Green. The Bears are who we thought they were. The Giants are who we thought they were when it comes to offense. They have no offense. Devers is a plus, but with no protection, he's not going to do anything. I mean, remember the Giants had Barry Bonds in 2004, 5, 6, and 7, and they didn't go anywhere because nobody pitched to Bonds, and so they didn't have anything else. So this team is just flawed. I've said it from the beginning that Matt Chapman is a flawed hitter. He'll come up and everybody loves Chapman. I get it. He's a great defensive player. He's got a high WAR. He gets a pretty decent OPS and all that. But my eyes tell me when the game's on the line, he comes through rarely. I mean, he did hit the 2-run homer a few weeks ago to walk off the game. I think that was the first time, maybe the second time I saw him come through in a clutch situation since he was with the club since last year. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I missed some others, but I think this team is going to still have issues. I think they improve. when Schmidt and Chapman come back, I think they have to improve. You can't get any worse than this. You scored 5 runs in 3 games against the Chicago White Sox, who are absolutely horrible. I'll have to pull up their team ERA. I bet it's over. In fact, you know what? I'll do that in a little bit. I want to look at their team ERA because they have a horrible staff. I mean, they got 1 or 2 decent guys, but it's just a bad team. And I just think that the way they run the ball club, you have Justin Verlander. This is the 3rd time, maybe the 4th, if I'm not mistaken. Ryan Walker has blown a game that Verlander.
Can we talk about those decisions by Bob Melvin in the bullpen?
Yeah, I don't understand bringing in Walker. He's trash. He's trash.
If Miller isn't going to do it, Walker ain't going to come over and be the freaking fireman. He's just not. Come on. When I saw Miller, first off, Miller came out. This is the 2nd time in a row. He came out yesterday, almost gave up a bomb. He comes out again today, does what he usually does. He walks, gives up a hit or 2. And then you have Ryan Walker behind him. Come on, man. Come on. And and supposedly Rodriguez wasn't even available. How is he not available? He didn't pitch yesterday.
Yeah,
let me see. I'm looking
sense.
Saturday.
I'm not understanding.
Rodriguez did not pitch yesterday. Look,
he did not.
If Rodriguez is not available, he pitched Friday, right?
Think so. I think he did.
Okay.
That first game.
If he needs 2 or 3 more days between, he's not really that useful to your staff. I'm sorry.
Right.
You've got to have a guy that can pitch in your bullpen every other day. I get it when you guys can't pitch every day, but they're not throwing enough pitches. He pitched. I'm going to look at this up. I think he pitched
19 pitches on Friday. That's it.
Okay, that's nothing.
That's nothing. Come on. He should have been the guy to go to. It was what inning was that? The 7th, right?
7th inning.
Okay.
1 out.
Look, and they said Rogers was not available today.
I guess he wasn't, because he pitched 2 days in a row. He pitched Friday and Saturday.
Okay. So who else is available?
So why did they just go to Miller? And if Miller couldn't get it done, then you bring in Rodriguez a little bit earlier. You have to, right? At that situation, you got to go to it and then figure out a way. You have to.
I
figure
just don't
it out.
Trust Walker.
Ryan Walker. Why?
Time
we can all see it.
After time.
Hell, even Robert Rothberg would have brought in freaking Ryan Walker. Come on. Come on, man. What's going on here? Look, you have and it's pretty sad. You're trying to salvage a series against the lowly Chicago White Sox, a team that was almost 30 games below 500, and you're trying to scrounge up some guys to pitch to the Chicago White Sox? Come on, man.
Thank you.
Come on.
And another nice Bach. Thanks.
Yeah. And he
clean
boxed.
your shoes, bud.
I'm not a guy that is a guy that likes to go say, fire this coach, fire this coach. Right. I just think there's things that need to be looked at. And I think a statement, if you want to make a statement that says we're serious about winning, you send Wisely
soda
packing after last night's game. I understand they didn't have, you could bring up Wade Meckler. He can play second base for a day or two. Okay. He's on the 40-man roster, requires no maneuvering. You just send Wisely down and you bring up Meckler and you say, look, you're here until Schmidt is ready to play. And if you screw up, you're going to be like Wisely did. You're going to be packing. Second thing, I would send right now Jung-Hoo Lee down to the minors and bring up Matos. I would say, look, you're in a big funk and you're not going to get better by sitting. You got to go correct whatever your issues are. And if it's 2 weeks, fine. But Matos needs to play and play without looking over his shoulder and saying, oh, shoot, I didn't get a hit here. Am I back on the bench tomorrow because I went 0 for 4? How about Jung-Hoo Lee? How many 0-fers can we take?
Yeah, good. Hey, same thing with the Adames. Here's a question, though. Can you send Jung-Hoo Lee to the minors? Is it in his contract?
He's got options.
Does he?
It's a player
Because he's a free agent. It's the same thing with Adames. You couldn't send Adames to AAA, right? You could.
Well,
like
you're not going to send a guy like Willie Adames to AAA. But Lee's only been in the big leagues less than a year.
No, I hear you. No, I just don't know what the language is in his contract. Would Boras say, "Hey, I want my guy to go to AAA"?
And Jake Berger just went down earlier this year. The Texas Rangers sent him down. They brought him back up because, they just wanted him to get right.
I think they actually they designated him for assignment, didn't they? I think they did.
No, I don't think so. They just sent him to the minors. But Aaron's right. The whole thing around Oracle is built around Jung-Hoo Lee. All their marketing, all the people with the orange hair in the stands.
Yeah.
I never heard anybody get so much love for a guy that's hitting what is he hitting now? 240?
242, I think.
240.
I think it's 2. Let me look. Where is he at?
Gosh.
Lee, 243.
243. Wow.
And lately, it's been a very quiet 243.
4, 2, 3.
I like that.
I'm at that. Jung-Hoo Lee.
He hit into one. I think he hit into one today too.
He hit into a double. He hit into a double play.
A double play. Okay.
He did a 4.63 rather than a 4.23.
Right.
Well,
and look, I don't know what. I asked Marty that. I think you guys saw me. I asked Marty and I asked Glenn, what did they got to do? And they said they got to change their approach, have a 2-strike approach. Doesn't seem like you see that in today's baseball. No one chokes up. No one takes the ball the other way. It's all out. You just go out there and you try to kill the ball.
Well, that's what Buster preached. That's what Buster preached in the offseason, that they were going to do that. They did it in spring training.
Right.
And
so what's changed?
They had a great spring training. It's what I predicted. I said when things get going and they have a little slump, guys will revert to their muscle memory. They're going to revert to what they know and who they are. And that's why I say who they are. Willie Adames, Matt Chapman. I'm trying to think of others that they don't change their approach with 2 strikes and they're up there hacking.
Okay, here it is. So, and this is, and look, Glenn Kuiper kind of alluded to this. Is it not the hitting coach? Is it the players being stubborn? He kind of alluded to that. And there could be some validity to that. If the players are not willing to change their approach, and hey, look, obviously it's not working. What I kind of hope is I hope this loss kind of stings them a little bit. Oh shit, maybe I need to look in the mirror and fix some things, because whatever the hell I'm doing isn't working, because we're not winning series against teams that you should be winning series against.
This guy says, no, it's not BS. Dan didn't predict any of this. Dude says both sides. Well, I did tell you, and I don't know if you listen to the NorCal Sports Network or not, but a couple weeks ago when everybody was going nuts, I said the Giants will go through a stretch where they lose 7, 8 out of 10. Guarantee it. Happens to every team. And I said when they stop hitting and they stop doing the things that they were doing, they will revert. I mean, I said that in the beginning of the season. I also said they'll win 86 games, and I'm going to stick to it. I'm going to stick to that. I said they'll win 86 games, and I think they'll miss the playoffs. That was my prediction. I think they will fall short, but they are going to be competitive. This is not a horrible team, but it's not an elite team. And I think when it's all said and done, they find a way to scratch out 3 to 5 more wins than they got last year. What'd they end up with last year? 79 and 83, right?
Was it?
Or 80? No, 80 and 82.
That's what I thought. 80 and 82.
80 and 82. Yeah. So I think they finish above 500. And that's what I'm predicting. And I'm going to stick with it. And thank you to NorCal Sports Talk Live. If you watch the show, Dan has been on the. Yeah, look, guys, I miss sometimes, and I'll miss a lot. But I just call it like I see it. I was enthusiastic about the team, the approach, the way coming into the season, and I saw them. And based on what I saw in spring training, to me, they looked like a cohesive unit that was playing baseball the right way. which is move the runners over, sacrifice fly. They did it. They did it all spring, and then they started off great. And what did they do? And you know what else they did in spring? And they did the first week of the season? They stole bases constantly. They were on the run. Yes. Everything. Now we're reverting back to last year's team where they never stole bases. So
yeah, I don't know.
They've changed.
They have. All right, Glenn, you've had your moment.
No, you guys have had your moment. I'm kind of pissed off now because Erik, Dan, Lou, thanks. You stole my thunder. You covered everything between the three of you. But my God, first of all, I just want to do a kind of a deep dive into the whole situation, not just today and not just about our show and Dan's show and kind of a collective. Because I was Erik, some guys in the chat last night, if you caught any of our show, they're like, oh, you guys really do a good job scripting this. I'm like, I'm not, this isn't scripted. Holy crap, was I mad. Jesus, my head was going to fly off into the 18th row. This team, listen, it starts with me, not just the team. A lot of it is you guys, the chat. I mean, this recency bias crap. Oh, my God, he'll turn it around. It's just a slump. It's a 3-month slump, guys. Holy crap. Like, you got to, you know what? It's like going to addiction recovery. When you accept there's a problem, then you can kind of deal with the problem. Our fan base, wait, I know it was a tough series against Colorado. It's a tough series against Miami. Well, what the hell was this, Erik? Erik said, nothing short of a sweep.
What did I do?
I got to throw somebody under the bus here.
Hey, man. Friendly fire here.
Oh, geez, jump in the foxhole because there's more to come. The recency bias with today, Bailey gets a double. Oh, he an early run. We've tied the game, and all of a sudden, then Bailey is this kid's a hero. Oh my God, look what he can do, Erik. He drove in. Well, yeah, he drove in a freaking run. Stop with the recency bias, and I know that's one of your favorites. And you've taught me that word, Erik, but it's true. And Lou. Then Lou comes in. I got to bring Lou into this. Lou says, oh, it's the homers. You know what it is? That's exactly what the recency bias is. And remember, Erik, they were talking about, this organization, the whole dimensions suck. They should move build a new ballpark. Call it the Homer Dome. Make it a dome stadium. Just launch rockets, get home run hitters. Call it the Homer Dome. Nothing would be more fitting for this fan base because they think, it'll turn around tomorrow. There's always, and I know that's part of baseball. There's always next week. There's always tomorrow. But my God, you know what's going to happen? They'll turn it around tomorrow and they'll be back to, there's 11,000 people on Monday night at the ballpark and Tuesday night at the ballpark. It's not cutting it. Lou talked about Wisely. I said it to you last night on the show, Erik. Wisely has no business. When you got picked off the first night, wasn't happy about that. Friday, Saturday, he does it again. Once, twice on a guy who's should be fighting for his life to be on this roster. And I think twice. 2 pickoffs. And if you remember, was it yesterday's, Erik, or was it Friday's? I guess it was yesterday's. It was a 1-run ball game. And you got a guy picked off at third base in the late innings like that. That is not acceptable. And that is when I think, this is when organizations need to set a standard and just go, okay, you're not just going to the minor. You know what? We've had enough. You can't play at this level when you're doing that crap. Then my old pet, we can't sign a 35-year-old Tomoyuki Sagano. My God, a 35-year-old? Well, let's go get Verlander, who's pitched 13 starts this year. Erik, how many wins does he got?
Today wasn't a Verlander problem. Today was not a Verlander.
How many wins does he got, Erik?
He has no wins, but you know how I feel about wins. I don't care about wins and losses. It means nothing.
The guy has no wins this year. And I know you're not about the wins and losses.
How many runs did he give up?
When the team hasn't won a game he has started, that's a problem for me. Where's the wins? What are you going to say at the end of the year?
How many runs did he give up? How many runs did he give up today? And he went 6
I
innings.
think he gave up a run.
1 run, and the Giants couldn't put up more than that for him against freaking Jonathan Cannon. Are you serious? You know where you need to be? Your anger needs to be to the lineup, because this guy came into the game with a freaking 2-7 record, if you want to go by record, and his ERA was 4.6. They didn't do shit.
Stop.
The issue
Verlander,
is,
Eric, because
it's the
listen,
lineup.
I know the pitching has been pitched. It's been out of its mind. Out of it, almost to a fault, out of its mind, carrying this team, Eric. But when Verlander starts 13 and we got no wins to show for it collectively, it's a team sport, Eric. He hasn't won. The team has it. The team can't win with this guy. He's got 5 losses on his record now. 5 losses, Eric. My question is, are we giving away participation awards, or are we going for the playoffs? Well, he pitched well, and we can't blame him. Got to blame somebody, Eric. You can't fire. What did I say last night? You can't fire the whole team. People are going to have to be held accountable. And you said, and I'm calling you out, you said, if this team goes to 500, good chance you fire the manager at some point.
It's a possibility. 100%.
Dan's been on the money. What have I said, Eric, since training camp? I go, stop with this is an 8-1 team. This is a 500 ball club, Eric. Dan, Lou, I'm not changing I know they're probably going to win a few more than my guess of 79. Fine, but they'll still win 79. If they win 80 or 81, they still won 79. So I pulled that one out of my ass. But when you're talking about this ball club, we had guys on the chat, Dan, Lou, last night, our show. It has gotten so bad. Hey, I've learned to deal with you and let it go. Phew. I love the WNBA. We had guys on our show last night going, I'd rather watch the Saskatchewan Roughriders and the British Columbia Lions and the Canadian.
Lou, he came in saying that. That was funny.
I mean, Jesus.
The problem,
I tell you the whole team. I'm just tired of there's almost a complacency. When I see, guys, is it just me? Dan, Lou, when you see Bailey up there, it looks like he's a ballet class. Whoa, 3 little swings. Oh, shoot, I got to go sit on the bench. It looks like he's not even engaged in an at-bat. It's like, give me 3 pitches and get me the hell out of here.
I think Melvin's lost the locker room, to tell you the truth, because they have no spirit. And then here's one thing, Eric and Dan. On the series, they got 13 total hits. Koss, who probably shouldn't have been on the team, got 6 of them. He was the
Marco Scutaro. Yeah, he was
so that means if you take it out against the worst team in the American League, we got 7 total hits. The first guy on Friday night's ERA was 7. Yesterday, the guy was 4, and you said today the guy was almost 5.
4.6, yeah.
It's not like we're going against Cy Young.
No.
I mean,
and this is an easy part of the schedule. The last week has been as easy as it can get.
Yeah.
Oh, Lou, what do we do?
Wait, hold on. Dan, you muted
yourself. Is the manager going to go or what? Something has to happen, or else, like you said, Buster's got no balls. If you're just going to go with the status quo, guys, get used to it.
I don't think so.
Glenn, they did score on a bases loaded walk. So, just to give you.
Woo!
So what do you call that in baseball these days? Is that a quality at bat?
No.
You gotta get a walk.
That
sounds like science baseball.
I think a lot of people are upset because of maybe unrealistic expectations that we had going in. We saw the way they played in spring training, and they started off so hot that we thought this team might be for real. And you know what? It's such a long season. There's ebbs and flows to a season that there's times where you're going to hit, bottom. Right now, the Giants are kind of in a tough position. They are. You could see even after the game in the dugout, the way the players had their heads down. They looked dejected. This is kind of, they're hitting a bottom right now. Now, if they can recover from this, there's still 7 games to go on this road trip. If they can somehow pull out 5 of these, maybe even 6, if they can go into Arizona and win 3 out of 4, which they're very capable of, because Arizona's not that great right now. And then you got the A's in Sacramento. You never know what's going to happen there if their bats show up.
If you can't hit in Sacramento, there's a problem.
Yeah. If they score 3 runs or less in those 3 games, Oh yeah, that's big time trouble. But I'll just say this, that I think we all kind of felt like, hey, this is going to be a really good season. If you thought they were going to, tear the ball apart all year, I didn't see that. I thought, this was just, they come out of spring, they were hot, and they got off to a really good start. And then what else? The other thing is they are entertaining to this, not entertaining in the sense where we're being entertained watching the game, but you're watching close games every night. Every game's a close game with the exception of a few, right? So the fact that they are in all of these games and that they're winnable games going down to the last couple of innings, it's like they're giving us a little bit of hope, which may be some false hope. But like I say, yeah, no, it's not entertaining watching them play. My point is if you like to see your team win, you're in every game. It's not like this isn't a team that a few years ago got down 3-4-0. You go, game's over, right? Sometimes they get down they were down 5-0 the other day to the Marlins and came back and tied it up, right? They have the ability to do these type of things this year, but what's really, really frustrating is just the consistency of the lineup not scoring runs the first 5-6 innings. They might squeak across one run in the first 6 innings, and so that is their team. That's just kind of how they are. They don't break out. So I still think there's changes to be made. I don't know what those changes will be, but they're going to have to find somebody to hit behind Devers, and I think that should be Ramos personally.
I don't like him batting leadoff. I don't.
Yeah, you got to find a leadoff hitter. You got to find. So I would go with Chapman batting second when he comes back. Put him in front of Devers so he sees better pitches. Ramos behind Devers, and that means batting at the top of the order. You're going to have to get somebody that can get on base. I don't know if that's Jung-Hoo Lee, if he can put it together or what, but I do think there'll be a stretch, and it wouldn't shock me if it starts this week. It wouldn't shock me to see them actually score some runs in Arizona. Arizona is a hitter-friendly park. Then you got Sacramento. I look at Devers' first, 6-9 games he was on that homestand. First he comes in, the hype, the pressure, and then he's got Boston. He does well on the weekend, Saturday, Sunday. And then they go into the week and they face the Marlins. Rough hitting at Oracle at night. It just is. It's okay. Then he goes to Chicago.
He should have killed the ball, and he didn't.
But the wind the wind's blowing in.
But he struck out a lot, too.
He struck out a lot. He did strike out a lot. Granted, he did. So Arizona a lot of times has been a place for the Giants to get well. And then this year, Sacramento on the schedule, it's a possibility that they win. They got to win at least 4. Would you guys not agree? They got to go at least 4-3 in these next 7.
They won't. You think they're going to go 4-3?
No. He's saying what they need to do.
Oh, they know. They need to. Do you think they will? I'm not.
At minimum.
I don't think.
So you're saying split against Arizona and win the series and against the A's.
I think
that's what they have to do.
With a 3.
I don't know if they do it or not, because right now they've got what I would consider 3 4A players, maybe 4. Let me count the 4A players. What I mean by 4A players is guys who are a little better than AAA, but not so great for the majors with their bats. I'm talking about Bailey. He's not a big time hitter. He gets a hit every now and then. So does a broken clock's right 2 times a day too, right? Okay. So Bailey, Lee, I'm going to put Lee in there. He doesn't look like a big league hitter right now. He can get it back. And then you got Wisely. Now Koss is hitting, but he's still a 4A player. Okay. He's hitting decently, but He's not going to do this if he had to play every day. So that's a weakness. And then Adames is a big league hitter. I'm not saying he's playing like a 4A player this year. I'm not going to include him as a 4A player because he's a
I hear what you're
proven
saying.
leaguer. But they have 5 guys that are in this lineup right now that just, flip a coin and you hope you're right 2 times out of 10 that they get on base. Okay. That's what you're hoping for these guys. I have no confidence when right now, Koss is the guy you have the most confidence in, but again, they don't know Koss. And if they figure Koss out, he's not going to hit. Otherwise, he would be in the majors 3 years ago. Okay. So Koss is not the answer, but you got to deal with it. So that's where I think this team, when I say they can win, 4, maybe 5, maybe they can't. Maybe they can't. They need to, but are they capable when you have that many holes in the lineup? That's too many holes in the lineup. And Yaz, Jay Farrell, I would put Yaz in that category too. I've never been a big Yaz fan with his bat. I love his glove. I love his defense. But I don't see right now. But I'm not throwing in the towel because you're 2 weeks away from hopefully what they got to do right now is hold the fort down. They got to play 500 ball or slightly better.
Until
They
Chapman
can't
gets
play.
back.
They can't play 200 ball. They can't sink. They can't have this ship sink before Chapman and Schmidt get back.
Lou has often agreed with me to the point of there's too many holes, and there still is more often now with, injuries have propped up. But remember, this is a team that's dropping back to the 500 mark really quickly. And Erik has made a point of it. I know you guys as well. It's the pitching. What the hell happens if we suffer Ray or Webb injured? And I'm telling you, we're in deep trouble.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's going to be like that with any staff.
But the fact we're sliding back to the 500 mark now with that healthy pitching staff still somewhat of a concern to me. I think the guys, I think it was Dan there, or maybe Lou, sorry. One of you said at the start of the show when I popped in there, he said, or maybe it was earlier today. Maybe it was Glenn on the other show. Maybe the fan base has just been tickled pink into tickled pink into thinking, oh, this is a magical team, when truly it's not. It's truly you're starting to see what we've got. Oh, Jung, I was on board. Was I not on board, Erik, for a 3? What did I say for Jung Hoo? I said, I think this guy's put a 324 potential in him. This guy could be a slap hitter. He'll get you like an Ichiro type hitter. He'll hit a few bombs, hit for average. I'm wrong.
He ain't getting it done.
And he was the bright spot, Erik. And like Dan said, and I've been out of town for a while, but when I was going to Oracle Park earlier, and I maybe lose in a few games too, and it's just Jung Hoo Lee. Well, if the guy who's batting like another one, 086 in the last 2 weeks, is getting the Jung Hoo Lee treatment, that is a sad. And you guys are talking about costs some nights like he's like, oh my God, look, he's the hottest hitter on the team.
He is.
That scares me though.
That's the problem. He is right now. He is.
When
he is the best
hitter is being revered, and you got minor leaguers who really have no business being.
That's the problem. The problem is the lineup, and it always has been. It hasn't been the pitching, and the problem is when the pitching has an off day, this is what happens. And this is the issue that I have. And they got to go out there and they got to improve the lineup, and that's something that we're going to see here in the next 4 weeks. We're going to see what Buster Posey's going to do. Look, he's got it. He's got some work to do, because I don't think you cannot, and I've said this a million times, you cannot squander this year because of how good you're pitching. Because next year, you don't know what Ray's going to bring you. Next year, you don't know what Webb's going to bring you. You hope they're going to, still be there. But this year is special as far as the pitching is concerned. And you cannot allow that to just slip away. Does Buster Posey work? I know, again, it's going to take 2 to tango.
Yeah, I would look at it this way too, guys, that, as far as being a magical season, we thought there has been some kind of magic at times. They've had 8 or 9 walk-offs at home.
Yeah, right.
And they've had some, the opening day when Wilmer hits the home run when they're dead in the water. And this team has some good things, qualities to it where the team is together. I can tell that they are a tight group. And so, just 2 weeks ago tonight, they got Devers 2 weeks ago, and they were on the verge of tying the Dodgers for first place. They were up 3-2. Who gave up that 3-run homer?
I can't remember.
I thought it was Roop.
No, it wasn't Roop. It was a reliever. Was it Walker? Saturday? Was it Walker? Somebody gave up a 3-run homer, and the Giants had
Lucchetti.
Lucchesi.
Sorry, we have so many bums we bring up. I can't.
Lou, I don't give a shit. I don't mean to be mean, but Lou, I don't give a shit. That's what I call Lucchesi.
Yeah. But I'll say this about this with this team. I don't think there's a quit in them. I don't think Melvin is lost the locker room. And I do think right now, because it's magnified, because we're watching it. Imagine if you're a Reds fan and they're hot, if you're a Brewers fan, look behind me here. Mets just lost 9 of 10. Okay. Teams go through this and their fan bases lose it and think, and then all of a sudden you turn it around. The Giants could go in and win the first 3 games of this series against Arizona, and everybody's going to be all pumped up again.
Correct.
That's just what happens.
That's what happens in a season, man.
It happens in a season. They are not buried. They are out of the wild card now.
Yeah, they're 6 games above 500 right now, I think.
Yeah, they're 6 games above 500. And if I pull up the standings here, let me just do that real quick.
2 weeks ago, they were about 13 or 14 over.
No, high water mark, I think, was 12.
This is it.
Yeah,
I thought it was.
Okay, so here's the standings. And as we look at, forget the West, guys. I told you the Dodgers are going to win the West by 15 games, at least. Or I might have said 10. It's definitely double digits. It's definitely double digits, and you're not going to catch them. I think the Giants will be lucky to be within 20 games of them, to be honest. But let me pull up the wild card here, and we'll show you what we're talking about.
A lot of teams, a lot.
Okay, so the Giants right now are 1.5 back. They were a week ago at least had a 2-3 game cushion in the wild card. So now they're behind the Cardinals. They have to supplant the Cardinals and the Padres, and the Reds are 1 game behind them, exactly 1 game. The Diamondbacks are 3.5 behind them. And I think you can go down to the Braves and stop. The Marlins are not going to be serious contenders. And I only keep the Braves in there because of their lineup is still potent. So this is still, we still got 79 games left or something.
Correct.
Like that.
We just went past halfway.
Okay. I agree with Dan. Hey, don't count out Atlanta. The only anomaly for them, and in baseball, the statistical breakdown of base. Take a look. It should be there somewhere. I was reading today. There it is. The Braves, look at their record on the road. That has been their downfall. They're 15-28 on the road.
Yeah. Wow.
They can turn that around. They're back in the chase.
They started off 0-9, remember.
Look at all those teams' run differential. Every one of those teams is positive.
Yeah.
Yeah. So these are, what that means is these teams are, they're better than average. We're just seeing the Giants right now, and we see that the fact that they can't hit, and they can't, and that is a huge issue, and that will be their downfall of them not making the playoffs if they don't. But I'm just throwing out that, look, I'm the first one that's ripped this team the last 2 years and said they're a joke, okay? And that was because they were being run by a joke, okay? Buster Posey's no joke. And the fact that, those World Series championship teams, go back and look at some of their streaks where they lost 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10 with no runs being scored. This happens, but it's frustrating to watch, and it's frustrating for the players. But I don't see this team quitting. Whether they get better or not, I don't think this is a team that quits because of the leadership. I think they quit the last few years under Farhan. There was
what do you make of this? Now, I love what you're saying. I think the mindset is there, but we got Adames hasn't hit all year. Lee has fallen off a cliff for the last month, somewhere around there. Bailey hasn't done anything the entire year. I mean, you got a lot of zeros going on in this lineup, and I get the no quit. I love it, but there's something going on with these guys where, granted, they've had a bad week of baseball where they're not winning because they were winning when they were still not hitting, so to speak. But there is something really going wrong with some of these guys, and it's kind of scares me. Adames, is this who we got for another 6 years after this year? Is Lee? I just don't know. Something has to give, and I hope that that they're being held accountable. I'm not saying that Bob Melvin needs to go there and be a red ass. The days of the red ass are gone. But you got to be firm. You got to sit down and say, "Hey, you need to go talk to Pat." Because look, I'm not going to throw Pat Burrell under the bus because we don't know what's going on. Go talk to Pat. You need to figure something out. And if they're not willing to do that, well, guess what? That's on the players. And the thing is, we're not privy to these conversations of what's going on, because these guys they have to come to a reckoning, so to speak. Glenn, you talk about, addiction. You got to understand that you have a problem before you can fix the problem, right? Well, if they don't have that epiphany, it's gonna be a long freaking season, man.
But Lou and Dan were talking. Sorry, Lou.
No. I was just gonna say one thing to you three, and maybe we haven't spoken it, but we got Devers and we're 4-9. So here it is. We get all excited, and maybe it's sort of the reverse has happened to the Giants. I mean, today the example I just didn't like, and this is why I'm sort of upset at the Giants. You hit into 3 double plays. One you hit where the ball actually bounced almost on the plate, with Lee after a guy walked. They have no patience. And after the game, I didn't see anybody really pissed off. I want to see somebody get really pissed off, throw something, do something when they have the camera, give the finger, do something.
And see the camera, give the finger.
I don't care. Show some emotion.
I've seen that happen twice in the last week. And the most unlikely guy, my guy, it's Wilmer, shooting off his mouth at the end of the game, getting a little pissed off. And the least guy you expect. Where are the other guys? Where are the guys who are supposedly the team leaders, including the manager on this ball club?
I think that's the problem. Who is the team leader? Is it Wilmer?
Question.
I don't know if it's Chapman. The other thing too about the Giants,
Adames.
Wilmer's more of a lead by example guy. He's not your
Webb.
So I think that's a problem. And then Dan, since you're here, I'm a little concerned because your boy Casey was supposed to start yesterday. It was sore. He was on the startup today. They said no, and now he's getting an MRI tomorrow.
Another MRI,
which means to me, I don't know why the Giants just don't. I know you can always go back, but put him on the DL then.
So you can bring a guy up, right?
Well, I think
right now we're short. We're short.
I think that happens if he's not able to play by Tuesday. If he misses through Tuesday, they may just go ahead and do that. I'll fix the hats, Justin. Don't worry about it. Thank you. Well, since you paid for it, I'll do it now.
What's up, Justin?
I saw the comment earlier. I was like, I'm in the middle of a live, but someone's going to donate $2. Sure, I'll move the hats.
I'm just worried as going 4-9. And it's just, it's almost like we put our guard down, but we still have the major problems. The 3 double plays today, and I was watching the post game show. that nobody's adapting. The one thing I thought about the White Sox, and I give Will Venable a lot of credit, they went opposite way 7 times, 7 base hits the opposite way. Okay, we went once on a check swing. We're just not doing it where, the one thing too is we all talk about Devers. Devers only got 1 fastball today and only got 2 yesterday. All they're throwing is sliders off the plate, telling him, if you don't go the opposite way, I'm sorry, you're not going to hit it. Because they realize, hey, if I throw a fastball down the pipe, he might hit it 500 feet. So without anybody else, hey, let's just keep pitching him away. And I think Devers is now at the point where he thinks he has to hit a homer every single time. And, it was like yesterday, before our boy got picked off third, he was happy, but dude, you're now 0-2 and you got to put the ball in play, and again, he didn't, so it's just one of those things. I think it's just a real bad time. And it shows in baseball, you just can't show up. You got to do the fundamentals, hit and run in scoring position, which has been a problem for 3 years. And last but not least, somebody today on the Bill Lasky show said, you know what? Maybe these guys aren't as good as who we thought. Because look at everyone that's having a problem. Adames, again, I'm not saying anything, but I don't understand how a guy could have a career year, contract year, and now he's nothing. I'm not saying he was on anything. All I know is he's not doing anything. And I'm telling you, he's nowhere to be found. Then you have Lee, where our boy Larry Krueger said, the guy's in the KBO. It's between second and third. Maybe he wasn't as good as we thought he was. And then when you go, Chapman, we got Chapman because, to tell you the truth, he had us up against the wall. We had nobody else. And, we said, let's get Chapman. So I'm just saying a lot of our decisions, and again, I know that was really before Buster, but Buster had responsibility for getting Chapman and Adames. So I know everyone loves Buster, but, you got to give him sort of a problem. He had nothing to do with Lee, but you got to, we're making sure Buster is great, but 2 of his picks have not really panned out this year. And if you're going to say the other thing is he made the big trade for Devers, he hasn't panned out yet. I still think it's a great trade. But, we got to give it where it's all about that.
That's fair. And hey, guys, real quick, because this broke about an hour before he came on. What do you guys make of the Austin Barnes pickup?
Championship or bust?
Come on, dude. Listen. Good friend of ours out there, Ibrahim. He's in a text group, and he says it a lot in the chat, talking about a lot of players who are ass. Well, Austin Barnes, he's right up there with the assery. I mean, I don't understand. The guy was cut from the Dodgers for a reason, right?
He's minor league. It's a minor league deal, so they're probably. But
still,
they're just, you
already got Stassi down there. You already got freaking Huff down there. I mean, they're better than freaking.
I think they might be hurt. They might be looking for depth.
Maybe
it could also mean that they're making a move with another catcher. Maybe they're gonna do something with where they move off of Kinzer and say we release him, and they bring up Huff, and then they say, okay, we need minor league. I don't know. It's
you guys ever consider? You guys ever sit back and consider at this point in the season with these moves? I call these all of the, and there's been a series of them already this year that have snuck by us. I call these Farhan moves. I think this is a team that is like just searching for some kind of gimmick to win some ball games.
All teams do it.
How many freaking catchers have we brought up this year? And how many of them have been good? How many? Don't all speak at once.
I'm typing.
Oh,
Lou?
Go ahead, Lou.
Well, how many Hall of Famers we brought up this year behind the dish? Our starter is no freaking Hall of Famer, in my opinion, either, by the way.
So, guys, last night, me and Dan, we talked about what happens if the Giants sort of falter. And I said, listen, our minor system is absolutely horrible right now. We have one guy who's out for a month that we're hoping is going to be our future first baseman. We're not guaranteed anything, but right now with this team, I don't really have a lot of faith. I mean, I'm glad Dan does, just because it's hard when they haven't proved it now for a while. is they got to start thinking, they are going to have 1 month to the trade deadline. Maybe trade someone like Ray. Trade a good pitcher where the playoffs aren't there. You can maybe get 2 prospects and see this year and next year. We got to start thinking like that, because I don't want to be next year in opening day where we have the same situation. Because right now, when you look at it, we need depth because we literally have 3 big contracts. 3. We have Adames. He's going to be here regardless. Okay. Chapman, he's going to be here regardless. Devers, he's going to be here. So we're going to have to do something because, like I said, I don't want opening day and we have the same team as we do right now.
Can I ask you a question, Lou, or Dan or Eric? Anybody can jump in with an answer to this. And this has bothered me the last couple of days because a lot of people in our chat have come in and said they got to make a move. There's got to be moves made before the end of the year. Eric and I have talked about it on our show, GSTL, quite a bit, in fact, over the last couple of weeks that, we got some pitching in the minors. We got a few pieces in the minors that for whatever reason or not, the Matoses, the Lucianos, maybe somebody will take a flyer. Maybe we can work out a deal. But with all the problems you're seeing right now with our major league lineup, it's showing me that there's we still have a serious lack of minor league availability. So my question to any of you guys is, to what degree are you going to start trading guys on the farm to try to bolster the major league level when push comes to shove and we end up with any more injuries? Who the hell are we going to have to back up the boys? It's pretty thin right now at our minor league system. And when you start dealing away guys, then what do you do?
Yeah, I think
it's like almost thin ice.
Yeah.
It's a difficult situation. The Giants, they don't have the horses, so to speak, in the farm system to really replenish this thing. They took their big shot with Devers, and even though it seems like they didn't give up much, they gave up Tibbs and they gave up Harrison basically, and the kid, I don't know what the other kid's name was. Bello. Yeah, don't know a whole lot about him, but he was only 19, so watch him be the star of the whole trade. Watch him become a 3-time MVP, Bello. But
that's all right. That trade, Dan, it's all right because
I have no issues with the trade.
Look who we got. I mean,
the trade was great. I'd make that trade 7 days a week and twice on Sunday. No looking at, and if it doesn't work out, I'd still say it was worth doing.
Right thing to do.
Yeah. So I'm not worried about that. But what I'm saying is they don't have a lot to go out and get big time players that everybody wants for this trade deadline.
That's what I'm saying. And if they were to make one more real big, what we would call a big splash, and we picked up a name and some team cleaned our pocket out of the minor league system, then what happens in August or September when you go, geez, now we lost an outfielder and we lost a catcher. What do we do? And you got nobody. We have no one to draw. We got Wisely up. We have no one to draw from now. It's already thin. So what happens if you trade what's left?
Okay, here, trade deadline. Here we go. What do you think's the biggest need? Second base, right field, or first base? Biggest need.
Starting pitching.
Starting pitching. Okay.
I agree with Dan because I think
so. Who do you think they target for a starting pitching? Because it sounds like from what Glenn was saying, it's like they're talking like back of the end rotation. I'd rather get like a number 3. That's me. But I mean, what do you think? Who do you think you go after? I don't like the Kyle Hendricks. I didn't like it when I heard that name. I was like, no.
Well, there's a Kyle Gibson that's out there, and he's not much great, but he's a free agent. He just pitched 17 in the 3rd innings of giving up 1 run in 4 different starts in AAA. My feeling on Gibson is sign him, put him in the rotation, let one of the young guys push, whether it becomes a 6-man rotation and you just let Webb pitch every 4th day, keep him on his 5th day, fine. But find out if Gibson's worth anything before the trade deadline. Give him a shot, give him 3-4 starts, and if he stinks, drop him. Didn't cost you anything. But if he's good, you found something. And the Giants, it's not going to cost you anything but a little bit of money. And so that's what I think they should do right now, because guys, people say, well, go make a trade. Trades aren't easy to make right now.
No, they're
still
not.
June. What they pulled
I
off
know.
with Devers was a unique situation because
Correct.
Boston wanted to unload him. And that's why they wanted to move off of him yesterday. They felt like maybe he was tearing down their clubhouse, everything. It's just, he was not, he wasn't what they wanted. So, but anyway, let's get to this super chat from Justin.
Yeah.
Should the Giants try to sign Bochy in the offseason? What do you guys think?
No, I don't think so.
Fire him. Why would I want to come back? Why would I want to
Yeah.
come back? You guys ran me out. I gave you 3
Yeah.
championships. You treated me bad.
I think he would possibly entertain it because of Buster and everything.
Buster.
But look, Bochy's
He's 70.
let's just move on.
Long in the tooth. And you cannot, like I said on the show last night, Dan, I said to Eric, I'm also tired of this organization. And it shows when they start tinkering with the lineup. Well, you had a 4-for-5 night bat in 8th. You can lead off. Don't chase the future with your past. I have a concern with that.
Yeah, stop going in the past. Agree. Aaron, this is hilarious. We know they would pass every PE test imaginable. That's right. There's no one cheating or taking performance enhancement drugs on this Giants team.
No.
For sure. Jim Burkill says this is hard to watch right now, guys. Just stay in it till Chapman and Schmidt can be in the lineup together and call up Matos and send Walker down. I would agree with all 4 of those statements or those players. Yeah, I want Matos up. I'm tired of seeing Walker down. Why is it that some guys get a pass and then our young guys like Matos and Schmidt and Ramos in the past and Bart, they don't cut mustard for a week and they're gone. And then we got to watch other guys who can't hit for like eternity. I mean, it's
true,
unreal.
Would you sign a bat? Do the Giants need to sign a bat, or you think they don't?
I think they need a bat. They need a bat. I just don't know where you
need a lot of things, guys. You need a lot of things.
Yeah.
Justin
Eric,
just sent another
Eric,
$5.
have you not been watching the Giants with our hitting? I'm just
all right. You know. That's what I'm saying. Hey, here I got a name. Here, hold on. Well, let's do the super chat first. Well, who does San Francisco even have to trade for a pitcher? Nobody is going to be an impact arm bat. If you want a good arm, you're not going to get Trevor Bauer. You're not going to get Julio Urias. It's not going to happen, guys. Don't talk about guys.
Bauer
it's not going to happen.
Bauer just got basically booted off the team in Japan, and
it ain't happening.
And sent down to their minors. So I would say, who do they have to trade? They got guys like Joe Whitman, who's a pitcher down in. You got guys like Reggie Crawford. You could move. You could move Luciano. You could move Matos if you wanted to do that. To me, the Giants are making the same mistake they made the last couple years with Ramos and Schmidt in not playing Matos. We're going to keep playing guys that are not productive hitters. My question is this: if Matos were to play every day right now, okay, listen to this. If he were to play every day until close to the trade deadline, is he that much? If he doesn't do well, is it that much of a loss from what Lee and Yaz are doing? I mean, is there that much of a fall off where we could say Matos is the guy that's screwing this team up? No. So why are the Giants not giving Matos a chance? He's running out of options, and you don't know what you have. And if this year doesn't pan out, you got to know going forward, is he part of the plan or is he not? And the Giants they're freaking failures at this. They did it with Ramos. The only reason Ramos made the All-Star team last year and that Ramos was discovered was because Conforto, Lee, and Slater all went down within like 4 days. And it's like, and they had to bring up Ramos. And it's like they were gonna bury Ramos and he was gonna be DFA'd just like Bart because he was going to run out of options, and they were going to do the same thing to Schmidt, and then Chapman got hurt. And I've been yelling for 2 years, play these guys, play these guys, play these guys. Same with Matos, play them, play them, play them. And you know what? For that matter, I know Luciano hasn't performed, but the time to play him was last year. You were going nowhere, and you should have played him.
Right.
And you know what? Some guys might actually, at the big dance, they might actually perform better because they step up and they feel like, man, I'm in the big show and I want to stay here. And I feel like this, I get a buzz off the crowd. Instead, I got to play in front of, 409 people. I don't know. I'm just saying they could have played them.
Plus in September, yes. Plus in September, how many times have we harped onto it, or I have, Eric, where in September of last year, we got on a little bit of a streak, so they abandoned the playing the young guys. Just foolish lunacy. It was, as my dad would say, it's woeful baseball. Woeful in September to be doing that. With what Dan just pointed out, they should have been playing those guys, because not only do you give them some at-bats and see what you let them play for a month with no pressure. Come to the ballpark. You know you're going to play every day. You're not going to be like Matos has been. And I brought it up on the show. Was it last weekend? If you go back and look at the stats, every time Matos hit a Sunday home run, he was sent to Sacramento right away. This guy should come up going, boys, I'm going to shoot singles. No more home runs. I'm not a home run guy anymore because I ain't going back to Sacramento. And it happens all the time. So here's a question. I don't have much to add. Tonight's show, you guys have covered everything. But my question is, this is a very unique season where Lou asked the question a few minutes ago. Are we really that good? Or are we not really that good? And with the trade deadline coming up, and what I said to you guys earlier about we still have them. This is a rebuilding organization from the scrapyard. We don't have a minor league system. And what little we have in the minor leagues, I'm worried about trading. My fear, and you guys answer as you care to, my fear is this is going to be a touchy thing next month. We're only a month. We're only 4.5 weeks away from the trade deadline. If we trade anything we got left in the minors, other than the Eldridge, let's say, Eldridge. If you're going to give up your depth in anything you got in the minor leagues and this freaking thing doesn't work out, we're back to freaking the basement again, trying to build our organization for the future. If you go big and trade your minor league team players this year, you're going all in. And I'm asking you guys, is this the team that we're really going all in with?
Hey, how about this guy? Check it out. Ramon Laureano. It's going to be, has a team option next year. But look what he's batting.
Winning your World Series, though. I mean,
he's batting 267, 10 home runs, 344 on base, and has an 854 OPS.
And what does 10 home runs equate to at all?
Pretty good. It doesn't matter.
He would lead the team in everything.
He's a good player. That's all the Giants need. We're not going out there to trying to find the next Rafael Devers. This guy would be a good addition to the San Francisco Giants. Put him in right field.
I think if they go out, if they go out chase the World Series this year, it's a mistake.
Put Yaz on the bench. He is a good fourth outfielder. Get Ramon Laureano, man. He's got a decent glove and he's having a decent year.
And I say that's why I say,
and it's cheap. It's cheap.
You need to be playing Matos tomorrow, and you can get a look at Matos before the trade deadline. You could get 20 games of Matos. You know what? What happens if Matos all of a sudden, is tearing it up and he's doing pretty well, and he pulls a Ramos.
That's fair.
First half, and he starts hitting. I don't understand why they don't give these guys a chance.
It makes sense.
I don't understand it. Look, I'm no baseball savant. Okay. I've watched the game, but I'm not in the professional baseball business like the Giants are. But why could I
don't think the Giants are either.
But why could I pick that Elliot Ramos was going to be special?
Mm-hmm.
I said, play him. And why was I telling everybody? And half my chat, not half, but a lot of people in my chat, a lot of people on Twitter, laughing at me when I said Schmidt can hit if you just give him a chance to play every day. The guy can smoke the ball. He just needs to be in his natural position and let him play, And it's like, and then he goes 0 for 4 and everybody oh, he's terrible. He's terrible. And they rip me like I'm, Casey Schmidt himself. That's bad. And then all of a sudden he goes on this heater and starts smacking the ball all around. And he's hitting like 283, 284 right now, or 278, whatever it is. But I can see some of these things because I watch spring training. I don't just watch the games. I watch the practices. I watch guys. I see their movements, and yet the Giants continue to do this. And I'm telling you, Luis Matos is a guy that can be an everyday player in the big leagues, but it might not be with the Giants. He's still very young, and this kid can play. So speaking of this, me announcing all these things, we forgot this super chat. Who wants to touch that one?
I can't.
I saw his wife 2 hours ago, front row at the game.
I can't stand hearing both him and Fleming call a game. I can't.
I'll speak. I love Homer Pence. It's gotten so bad, even though he'll bring up, well, Lee did he didn't strike out. That's how bad these broadcasts have become. Yeah, he hit into a double play, but the ball went 89 miles an hour.
Sounds like our chat.
It's so bad that literally I've been turning on the radio. We have a guy on our show, Dallas, who says the same thing.
Dallas is good.
And the thing about Pence is he treats you like you're a 5-year-old. You don't know baseball. He talks down to you. He is such a homer that no matter what, like today in the when the Giants were down 5-2, or in the 8th inning when the pitcher came in for the first time, he goes, "I could feel the magic. I could feel the magic, guys."
What does that mean? What the hell does that mean?
Yeah, I can feel the magic. I can feel a walk here and then a 3-run homer to tie. And he just brings up complete malarkey. And then Dallas brought up a good point last night. Fleming's already bad to begin with. When Fleming tries to be comical, the whole entire broadcast is a zoo. They're both so bad. I mean, it's impossible to listen to. And what's worse is if you listen to KNBR after, where they have the post-game show or the rap where they pick the things, he's just as bad. So it's, whoever wrote that, I forgot who did it. Thank you. Yeah. Homer Pence, do me a favor. Go back and have your coffee with your wife. You don't need to go on the broadcast because you're ruining it.
Guys have been getting sour at me. I went on last week and said, Erik will bring something up in the ball game. I'll say, I didn't catch that because with the MLB package, I watched the visiting broadcasts and I seem to be not only entertained, but they're a lot more. They're not a lot more knowledgeable broadcasters. They point things out that are actually important to the game or the player or the situation. And I don't want to get involved in, our guys suck. But I do think the other broadcasts lend a lot to their telecast. And
well, let me step in here because I do listen to a lot of different broadcasts, and the top one is by head and shoulders is the New York Mets. They are awesome. There's a lot of great broadcast teams. I happen to think Kruk and Kipe are fantastic as well. Mm-hmm. But I'll just say this, and Dave Fleming with Javi Lopez is pretty good. Somehow with Hunter Pence, and I like Hunter Pence, great guy. He's but and I'm not even going to put all the blame on Hunter Pence here, because I kind of have a pretty good indication that this is being, if you listen to Hunter Pence on Apple TV, he's actually not too bad. Okay. He calls the game, but he has been instructed by Larry Baer to be a cheerleader on this broadcast. And it's absolutely nauseating. It might be entertaining to casual fans that don't really get too much into the game. They're like, oh, that's cute, Hunter. Oh, he said, what a beautiful play. Yes, it's a beautiful play, Hunter. Beautiful, beautiful pitch or whatever. I mean, and then it's just not good broadcasting. It's really what you would consider something you might hear at the A-level ball, A
Yeah,
or
but
double A.
may I also say, Dan, that you guys know, or most of you know, I think. So that was my way of life for 18 years. I traveled with a team. I was the team broadcaster, and I can tell you firsthand. When I signed my first contract, you know what it was the big bold letter said? You sell seats. That's the way a team treats the broadcast. It's, Glenn, if the game is 8-1, I don't want to hear how bad we are or how bad, already in third period talking about next game. You make it sound like, and you got to do it to a degree where you can't be a freaking idiot and go, well, it's 8-1 with 4:13 left. And, we still got a shot at this game. We can go on a power play. The fans aren't stupid. But that's part of the gig with broadcasting is there's a fine line. You're paid to be the broadcaster for that team. It's not, you said Apple TV. When you're neutral at that point. When you're doing the Sunday night, John Miller's doing Sunday night in the day back on ESPN.
Yeah.
It's neutral. It's neutral. He calls the game. But when you're employed by the team, it's a lot different. And may I also add, guys, no offense to any of you guys in the chat or to you three, but what are we talking about here? We're talking about, the woes of our broadcasters and our broadcast team is the least problem we got with this organization right now.
Yeah, I think it was just because of the super chat came up. So,
we'll take the money, but that's okay. Yeah. But I'm telling you, why we're talking about broadcasters, because that's the least problem.
Super sticker.
If I'm not mistaken, this guy is from Taiwan, I think.
So what does that mean with the bunny and 140?
That is Taiwanese money, if I'm not mistaken. Whatever that is.
That's 8 US cents. No, I don't know.
Get your currency converter out.
I'm not sure. It's probably a buck.
A yen. That's what it is. It's yen. If I'm not mistaken, this guy's from Taiwan. I think he came in our chat a couple of days ago.
I know this is $5.99 from Robbie Man. I think Schmidt is going to need an IL stint, which means Wade Meckler has to come up as the emergency second baseman. Meckler can give Yaz and Lee some rest days. It's possible. We'll find out more tomorrow. He'll be here as they come to Arizona. They've got better, they got their facilities here. I don't know if they're sending him to a local hospital or what, but
I don't want to be sour, Dan, but like you're talking about Meckler. When this team was, 12 or whatever Eric said, a dozen games over 500, was anybody ever dreaming or entertaining the fact that, hey, let's call up Meckler? Let's call what? Oh my God!
They don't have anything. They don't.
You don't have this. You got to go.
That's why I'm talking earlier about if you start dealing any of these players in the minors, what the hell you got left?
It's okay because guess what? You got to draft every year, so that this is where Buster Posey, he's going to have his first draft. Let's see how he does.
How about trade guys that aren't coming back, like maybe Verlander at the trade deadline, Yaz at the trade deadline? I mean, they're not part of our future. That's the one thing I think the Giants have been missing out on. If they're not going to be part of our team for 2026,
it's fair.
Get something for them. And if you notice a wild card, somebody could probably use someone like Verlander, a little senior leadership that are close. I'm just saying, if we're not going to the playoffs, I know it's easier said than done, but we got to be wise. We got to start thinking of 2026.
Exactly. I've said that. Don't give up your future for this magical run, because Eric has also said that if you start, Eric, how many times have you talked about it in the show where if we start dealing whoever to get whoever, like Lou just said, how many times, Eric, when you bring up a guy like Laureano or anybody you put on the docket, it's always, well, he's a free agent. He ain't going to be back there, so we can go get him. Mm-hmm. So we got to start looking at it the same perspective like Lou just said. If the guy's not going to be part of our system, what do we like? We keep it around for a run, and what are we going to do? We got to. It's almost. I feel like this team is so close to it. We got a problem because next year we're going to start all over again.
Look, here's the thing. Here's the problem. You don't trade away guys that suck. I'm sorry, that just doesn't happen. Would you love to trade Yaz? Sure, but if he's playing good, you're not trading him because the Giants are in it. Verlander, if he was pitching good, you're not going to trade him because you're in it. If he sucks, no one wants him.
Can I ask you a question, Eric? I understand that, but here is my question to you. The biggest question maybe of the night for Eric Romo. At what point are you going to come on the show, the Hot Corner or our show? You and I are doing this every night. When are you going to come on and go, you know, Glenn, I think we're not in this run. I think this is done. What point are you going to give up? Like, I don't think
the standings dictate that. And
yeah, right.
The problem
going
is
backwards, not.
Yeah, but they're only a game and a half. Do you realize in 2 days they could be back in the wild card?
Right. That's what.
And you realize we just won 1 of 6 against Miami.
I get it. I get
still
that.
got half the season left. We got a half.
Lou, am I wrong here? Bail me out, Lou. They're double teaming me. They're double teaming me, and I'm not wrong, Lou.
I don't know how we have faith in this lineup when they haven't really done anything since.
Look, I'm just telling you the logistics of the thing. Teams
like
are
it
not
is.
gonna.
The team sucks the last week, and I said, Derek, last night, is it an anomaly? Is it 1 week? Well, it's one thing to have a bad week, but when you're playing Miami and Colorado and the White Sox, and you have your bad week, that is not good.
Glenn is waving the white flag already.
I'm waving the white flag already, and I'm going. I can't wait till the Valkyries get back from their next road trip, dude. Jesus.
Hey, did I hear the word Valkyrie?
Don't do it.
Don't do it. Oh my God.
Best team in the Bay Area.
They are.
What am I going to say? It's embarrassing. I think the one thing too, guys, after this road trip, you know, it's going to be really tough because our schedule,
it's not easy.
Philly, Dodgers, then we get our little break, then we go on the road, Toronto. I mean, it's going to be very tough. If you guys, like I was telling you, through July 13th, all teams are going to have winning records. I mean, yeah, we're talking about, you know, I think the series next during the 4th of July, it's going to be like a playoff atmosphere. You're going to have Giants fans, A's fans. Even though we're up there, you guys got to remember, when we went to Oakland, we struggled. It always seemed like it would be a 2-1 game, 3-1 game. And, you know, these Giants aren't winning these close ones right now. And, you know, Arizona, I believe maybe we can, you know, win a few. But, you know, when we go to teams like Toronto that hit, we got to score at least 4 runs. And with this lineup, we're just not going to score 4 runs. I mean, do you guys think it's going to be better when we have the all-star break and then we come back? You know, it's tough. You know, we're just going to be playing teams that put runs on the board. You know, Arizona right now, they're coming off a real tough streak, but they score runs. If we haven't scored, but just because we're playing.
Arizona lost today. I think they put up, was it 6 or 7 runs today? Let me see.
I think it was 6-4 or 6-5.
I got a new one in the mail, Dan, yesterday, and it always reminds me of you, and you know why. But I got this in the mail yesterday, and Dan is always pissed off that we never drafted this guy. Oh, maybe I should flip it easier to see the other guy.
Oh, other way.
Can you see him?
Biff. Hey, Biff.
That's Biff.
Hey, Biff, go wax my car, Biff.
Dan used to talk, a couple of years ago now, tune into your show, and it would be like, Biff, who knows that guy? And I'm like, it's Biff Pockeroba. And they're like, I don't know. Who knows who Biff Pockeroba is? That's why I buy his cards. I loved him as a kid.
Hey, Fuji, we better get to this, right? Thank you for the $2. Are the squares filling up? Well, yes, they are. Speaking of which, let's.
How many did we sell last night? 5 more, 6 more?
Yeah, 6 more. Bernice bought 5, and Kershaw Fishing bought 1.
We're great salesmen, Eric. Don't tell everybody 5 of them were in the house. Come on.
Hey, it's all good. It doesn't matter. All right, here we go. Come on.
Giant Sports Talk Live and the NorCal Sports Network have teamed up to give back to the community. We ask for your support as we aid in Haley Busby's fight for life in her battle with liver cancer. To take part in this fundraiser, you can purchase an entry for just $20, and the winner receives 4 front row dugout seats at Oracle Park for your choice of an August 8th game versus the Washington Nationals or the August 29th game when the Giants host the Baltimore Orioles. The winner will also get an on-field experience on game day and attend batting practice. So secure your entry now, as eligibility is limited. Draw date to be determined. The Busby family, Giant Sports Talk Live, and the NorCal Sports Network thank you for your participation and contribution to this worthwhile event, covering the San Francisco Giants and giving back to those in need in 2025. Giant Sports Talk Live and the NorCal Sports Network.
There we go. Here it is, the most current list up to date. Look at that. It's getting pretty damn full. I think we're maybe around 20, somewhere around there left.
Yeah.
Not too shabby. Again, guys, if you got $20, help out a great cause. Look, we're helping. This 100% of all the money that we're raising is going to go straight to that young woman who is fighting a rare form of liver cancer. So that's the most important thing about this whole thing. Yeah, sure, you get a chance to win 4 tickets, front row, right next to the Giants dugout, name it on their lights, go on the field for batting practice, and you get a couple of dinners where you get a $50 gift certificate for either Tommy's Mexican or Capo's, and you get a free preacher, by the way, with the free picture of margaritas with Tommy's. So if you got $20 laying around, guys, it's a great cause.
Then it won't matter what the Giants are doing. You drown your sorrows. Everybody wins, right? Everybody wins.
There you go. Everybody wins.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, I wanted to ask the guys too, because we didn't have them on our show last night, Eric. When are we going to entertain Lou, Dan? You guys are more so even than us. What do you want to do with the? We got 20, and I thought this would have been sold out long ago.
Maybe do more than 5.
I'm ready personally to open it up. That if Bernice wanted to buy 4 more, or anybody, Lumpy, Dan, anybody, you want to buy more? Let's just fill this up and get them their money and let's get on with it.
I'm fine with that because we've given them a month.
Sure.
People haven't made a
correct.
decision
Over a month.
if they haven't. What do we? What's the old saying? Crap or get off the pot. Look, if you're not ready, it's time's up. It's open. You want to buy? Anybody wants to come in and clean out the rest of the board tonight? Go ahead.
And the guys who have stepped up have stepped up. So
yeah, and if they want more, the guys that have stepped up, guys who have bought 4 or 5, if you want to go buy more, it's open. It's time. It's July 1st.
Good. I'm glad we agree.
Because we got a game August 8th. I mean, I'd like to do the thing maybe. I know it's July 4th next weekend, so a lot of people are traveling, and
afterwards.
But maybe the following week, I'd like to do the spin the wheel. Let's get this going so I can get people the tickets, the certificates, and.
And I've sold what, Eric? About 15 of them to guys who weren't even, and some of them to a man are like, let me know if I win. I might book a flight. I might make a weekend out of it. So I don't want to do it and go, hey, you got to be in town in 48 hours for the game.
No, yeah.
Look, to those who can't afford it, we're not on you. We get it. It's times are tough, and if you can't afford it, no big deal. Don't feel obligated. But those who have been thinking about buying it and haven't decided, we're telling you, you might lose out if you really want to make that decision. There's no pressure for anybody to buy one of these tickets or donate. You're not really buying, you're donating, and you have a chance to win, a chance to win these. But look, we get it. No, this isn't a, force. We just need to get it done because we committed the full $2,000 to be, given. We already kind of basically fronted that.
Right.
And so that's all we're saying. You guys just go ahead and get them sold. And so that's it. But
I think that's going to open things up this week too.
Yeah. Dallas says the Giants will win 8 of 10 again this season. Of course they will. It'll happen, guys.
It happens.
I don't think the Giants are going to fall so far back out of this that they're eliminated basically when September rolls around, that they're like, season's done. They're not mathematically eliminated, but they're in all practicality out of it. I think the Giants, it comes down to the last week of the season, whether that's Monday of the last week when they get eliminated or the last day of the season, last weekend of the season, they get eliminated, or somehow if they squeak in. I'm telling you, my prediction is the Giants are going to be in this to the last 7 games of the season before they are mathematically eliminated. So again, we'll see where it goes. I think they are not playing well. They don't look like a great team right now. But when I look at the standings and I see it's the Cardinals, I don't think the Cardinals were expected to even be anywhere close to what they're doing. Okay.
Right.
Padres have kind of struggled. The Reds are coming on now. The Diamondbacks are struggling with all kinds of injuries. The Braves have been struggling. Everything is there for the Giants to – the one thing I said for the Giants to be able to make the playoffs, everything's going to have to kind of go right for them where they stay healthy, and that didn't happen. And other teams are going to have to falter. Well, the Braves have opened up the door for the Giants because the Braves, to me, were a shoo-in of one of either a division or one of the 3 playoff teams, and they have fallen flat on their faces. I picked the World Series, and I still think I'll leave that prediction because I made it. Doesn't look good, but I wouldn't quit on the Braves. They're 8 back of the wild card, and they can get hot, and that's a team that can win 16 of 20, just like that. Probably won't happen because their pitching's not that great. They lost they got Strider and Schwellenbach that are doing good, but didn't they lose somebody? Didn't the Braves lose somebody?
Their pitcher. Their ace.
No, Strider's back.
No, their other pitcher.
Schwellenbach.
Oh, Chris
he hurt his
Sale.
ribs the other night.
Broken rib. That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, Sale's out. That's right. Sale's been out, and then they also lost Ronaldo Lopez in the beginning of the season.
Yeah, it's
was
tough.
one of their starters. Yeah. So
A hot corner. I'm going to give you guys a thing that I heard today, and I knew it was true, but probably except for Detroit, the AL Central is pretty bad. Okay, we went 3-12 against them. 3-12. So you got Detroit, and the thing about Detroit, we didn't even have to go against Skubal, and we still got swept. But
didn't we get swept by the Twins? We got swept by the Twins too, right?
Yeah. So
yes, we did, Eric, in Minneapolis.
Yeah. So, I'm just saying, we're talking about a team that I think too many times we look at the schedule. Oh, God, we're going against. And I'm going to keep saying this. The Giants got to play their ball, and it doesn't matter who we play. It doesn't matter if we're playing the Rockies. It doesn't matter if we're playing the Dodgers. We have to play basic baseball and do things right, run bases right, play defense right. Or you know what? We can wind up 20 games below. Because right now we're not doing the basics. And I think it's going to get to the point where these pitchers believe they got to pitch a shutout. And if they don't pitch a shutout with us hitting, then, if you saw the interview today with Verlander, he was like, and the same thing with Ray, like, hey, Ray, it's part of baseball. But these guys are, they're thinking, do I want to be here next year? Do I want to be here in the future? I mean, Mike, what the hell's going on? And I really think that's why something has to happen. I don't want us to have the same talk next Friday, and we say we go one. I'm just throwing something out there: 2-8, 1-9. You got to do something now before it's too late. I know we got a lot of part of the season, but right now it's not looking good. And I think tomorrow is a huge game for this reason. You have your ace, you have Webb.
Yep.
If they lose tomorrow, it's like 2 losses. Okay, and then now. You've now gone and you're 1-6 in their last 7. Tomorrow is a must win. If we lose tomorrow, then we really got to start thinking what is going on. And again, I don't mind if we lose, 6-5, 5-4. I just don't want Webb to pitch, give up 4 hits and give up 2 runs and we don't score again and we do the usual, hitting the 2 double plays, can't do basics. It's just hard to watch. So I think tomorrow's a must win.
Lou, I agree with you, and I will add that maybe I'm more negative than you. I'm already taking a step across that barrier, if you will. I'm already panicking. Again, look who in 6 games, we won 1 against bad teams, guy. So if we're losing to the worst teams, what does that make us? What is that? We didn't lose.
Bad right now.
We didn't get smoked or lose a tough game against a bad team. We go, because if we had lost 1 of those games instead of winning 1, we'd be going, how did we lose that game? Oh my God. We just won 1 of the last 6.
Hey, Dodgers went through a losing streak not that long ago.
Yeah.
It happens. It happened.
Hey, the Giants,
baseball.
The Giants are going to be facing this week Ryan Nelson tomorrow. They got Zach Gallen on Tuesday night, Merrill Kelly on Wednesday, and Brandon Pfaadt. That is, they could. I mean, that's not
3 or 4, right? 3 or 4.
They need 3 or 4. They need 3 or 4.
A lot
We just
better
went
than
against two scrubs against the White Sox.
Exactly,
I know.
Lou.
I know.
Thank you.
I know.
And by the
I
way, the White Sox should have swept us. They outplayed us. They outhit us. They did fundamentals better.
Yeah,
All around.
It's rough. It's rough.
And Eric,
Willie and the poor boys better get it going.
Eric. No disrespect, because you know I love you. Dodgers may have lost 3. They got swept by the Angels.
Mm-hmm.
We ain't no LA Dodgers. I'm sorry.
No, I never said we were. I'm just saying every team will go through this. Look what's going on with the Mets.
The Dodgers can lose 3 in a row.
Look
We
what's
can't
going on
lose
with the
9 in a row. That is just. You know what?
But that's not what's happening.
You know what? This is only going to get more interesting. You wait till the post All-Star game hot quarter when we're creeping up on the trade deadline, and then we're all in. Dan wants to go one direction, and Eric wants to do one thing, and I want to hold pat, and I'm worried about winning next year, and Lou doesn't know what the hell to do. It's going to get crazy this thing is just nuts, man. It's nuts. Giants baseball is nuts.
It's just baseball, man. I love the game, and it's fun.
Then
to
you
talk
throw
about.
Chardall in, and it all goes to hell.
Mm.
I got to go to a game with fucking Oh, pardon me. I got to go to a game with Chardall. This is
Not any game, a Valkyrie's game. He might blow it for you.
You know how he came in strong. I didn't think he was coming in.
You sure it wasn't a setup? He probably had one computer with the whole entire thing because the way it rotated, he didn't even have to think about it.
No, but he said in 30 seconds, and he got it.
He said the whole team. He said the coaches.
Eric almost fell into the chair.
Now I couldn't.
As God is my witness.
Now I heard what Chardall even said, and I still could not name 3 Valkyrie players. You want to test me there, Glenn? I'll see if I can
name 3. Why would we play?
I think I might try. Caitlin Chin, is that a name?
Yep.
Chin?
Isn't that the coach?
Kim Martin. Did I hear that name the other night?
No.
Oh, is there a Martin?
There's Golden State Kate.
I don't know. Okay, that's.
Yeah,
how about
Kate Martin?
How about Bertha Butt?
Oh, stop it.
Dan
gives me the gears. I don't tell you guys who to watch. I don't tell you guys.
Bertha Butt. She was a Taracala woman. There, Bertha Butt. One of the Butt sisters. You remember that song? You remember that song? You got to remember that song. One of the Trockulites.
The Bertha Butt Shuffle.
Yeah.
The one thing we're all talking about how bad the Mets are, they'll probably make 2 trades, maybe 3 before the trade deadline.
Mm-hmm.
They'll realize, hey, guys, we need to get better starting pitching because they have a great lineup. So, that's the one thing is I don't want us just to stand packed when we're having problems. Yeah,
I agree.
Devers, but we need more.
We need more.
And again, you guys might be right. We need a starting pitching. I personally think we need another bat.
Both.
You guys have been saying how great so
I have a short fuse. You guys, I don't know if you guys it's fact I care. This dude, watching this game today, watching yesterday. I didn't catch any of Fridays, to be honest with you, but earlier in the series, the Miami series, to be a fan right now, this is a downright embarrassing. It's embarrassing. And Dan and Lou, you often sit like Eric and I do and talk about pick a game, bases loaded, 8th inning, and up comes Bailey, and you go, geez, I can go for a soda now because nothing good is coming from this. And 9 out of 10 times, I come back in 30 seconds, they're in a commercial.
It is amazing. We hit the 3 double plays to end the game 1. And then, of course, we had bases loaded. And then I think it was yesterday, we had runners 2nd and 3rd, nobody out. We get picked off. We don't score. We find ways not to score.
Yeah.
So, hey, guys, we actually
picked off at third base, Lou.
I know. But Eric and Glenn, Dan today did something that he wanted to present to you guys tonight, just as sort of a little favor, because just to get you sort of fired up.
I don't know how to do it. Eric will have to cue that up if he's.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I don't. Hold on. Let me do this.
We have a little treat for you. I heard it and I loved it.
So someone is having fun with Suno.
You got to listen to this, Glenn.
My first crack at Suno. I didn't even know how to do it. Hey, Fuji, Simeon, Lou, Glenn, and Eric, and Chardall watching the Giants play.
Hey, I don't know about that. I don't know about that one.
Yeah, leave me out of that one. Thanks.
Yeah, I don't know how I got drug in that.
Thanks for leaving me out. I appreciate it.
I wasn't making no promises to the Lord above. I got to thinking today, as Eric, we got a little song for you. It's going to get ready here. Got to thinking about Willie Adames. And you all know the song from CCR, Down on the Corner. Willie and the Poor Boys. And I started thinking about Willie and the Poor Boys and how poor Willie is and some of his poor boy brothers. So I think I used Lee in that, Yaz and Fitz, and Bailey.
I liked it already.
Lee, Bailey, Yaz, and Fitz. I had to use Fitz to get the rhyme in there. So here we go. This is an AI song.
Here we go.
Down on the corner, Willie and his poor boys. Can't buy a hit, Willie wondering if he made a mistake, but then looks at his bank account and says, I got 182 million reasons why it was not Willie and his poor boys. Lee, Ray, Bailey, Yaz, and Fitz continue to live in the pits. Meantime, Justin says he's gonna kick Walker's ass. Says he wished he stayed home and practiced making babies all day with Kate. Meantime, Justin says he's gonna kick Walker's ass. Says he wished he stayed home and practiced making babies all day with Kate. Justin says he's gonna kick Walker's ass. Says he wished he stayed home and practiced making babies all day with Kate. Down on the corner, Willie and his poor boys. Can't buy a hit, Willie wondering if he made a mistake, but then looks at his bank account and says, I got 182 million reasons why it was not Willie and his poor boys. Lee, Ray, Bailey, Yaz, and Fitz continue to live in the pits. Meantime, Justin says he's gonna kick Walker's ass. Says he wished he stayed home and practice making babies all day with Kate.
There you go.
There it is.
Hot off the presses, man.
I mean,
My
Verlander
gosh.
has 3 wins at least that he could have had Walker not blown it. He'd be 3 wins closer to 300. Oh my gosh.
Were you guys surprised? I know Eric's brought it up on our channel, but I'm going to throw it to you guys if Eric wasn't planning on it. You guys think that with Verlander sitting on the shelf for a little while and that, there was no buildup. There was no, he didn't play one game down.
Should have had a rehab.
He was right in, and there was no preparation for this comeback.
Should have had a rehab.
Yeah, it's his second one. He just didn't have the strikeout pitch. Have a guy 0-2. He just can't get him past it. So, I mean, today the slider was working good, but, again, look at the team. Look at the team he went against. Yeah, all pitchers have good times against the White Sox.
It's the freaking White Sox.
I mean, that White Sox lineup was sort of ridiculous. When you looked at it, it's like, my God, the Giants lead 1. The problem is the Giants aren't getting the big runs. They're not leading 3-0. They're not leading 5-0. When you're only up 1-0, and then, you keep a team, keep hanging around.
Yeah, hanging around.
Are you telling me that
happen.
Verlander is going to pitch on 4th of July, July 4th?
There you go. He pitched opening day, Eric. Like he's our.
Hold on. Opening day in Sacramento on 4th of July.
The ball will be flying out. And
Yes,
Eric,
it
you
will
saw
be.
all the games against the A's are all night games because of the heat.
Yeah, they're all night games because of the heat. Yep.
8 o'clock starts. Yeah.
I'm telling you, the ball flies in Sacramento, man.
It
It
does.
flies.
I'm always the first to bail, guys. It is a new routine for me. I'm back in the Bay Area until at least November. I got a lot of baseball to watch. I'm looking forward. Maybe I'll see Lou at the ballpark in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, welcome back.
Yeah, I'm real glad to be here and get some sports back in. And I was fired up in the show last night, beyond fired up. And I think it was because doing the show from down the street, I'm looking at the ballpark out the window. And I mean, absence made the heart grow fonder, man. When you do the show and I'm way like 2,000 miles away, and when you're here, it matters, man. So I'm excited to see you, Lou. I've never even met Lou or Dan. I mean,
no. In fact, during opening day, you were on a corner, but I asked Eric, and he goes, "No, he's already left." I was on a different corner.
Yeah, you're on the
it happened.
Down on the corner. Willie and the poor boys corner?
Hey, Glenn, since I thought you were originally from Saskatchewan, right? Are you pretty close? That's why I gave you the big update last night on the CFL. Okay, because I got them winning the whole CFL. I bet them and
the Riders.
Yeah.
No, I got the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. The Bombers.
Both 4-0. 4-0.
Yeah, right. Winnipeg's got a great.
Sorry, I had to throw something in the CFL chat. I bet they think. Yeah. So
I love the CFL.
My fault.
I love all those sports. You guys are like, CFL. I love the CFL. 3 downs.
My brother's gone to the last 6 Grey Cups. He
so he would have been in Winnipeg just a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, the game
was over. The big anniversary is the one in Toronto, and they have great concerts. I mean, they do 3 days up to the event.
Oh yeah,
it's big
to do.
So,
but yeah. So I'm on a different time zone now. So I'm like 3 hours different.
Yeah, it's only 9:50 here.
Yeah, so I'm like now 2 hours past when I signed on. I should have been starting my work. So I got to get.
I got it. Well, welcome to the city. We'll have to hook up. Maybe we can get together like at Tommy's or something. Have a
there you go.
I'd love to meet you, and you can meet the owner, and we can have a little fun.
Oh, I'm all about having fun, man.
I don't know. I mean, it's tequila. So are you okay with tequila and taking an Uber home?
I told Eric if there's tequila involved, I won't need a straitjacket. I won't get by.
Right, no problem. Love to do it.
I'll be the more tequila, the easier it'll be.
Hey, and then Eric and Glenn, is it okay if Dan makes an announcement about our show tomorrow night? About a special guest, since we have everybody on the chat.
And Dan, before you do, Dan, aren't you coming to town? Did I hear on one of your shows you're coming to town too?
Coming on the 26th of August.
Good.
26th of August, Tuesday.
Oh, shoot, I'm out of town. I'm out of town.
The National?
July or August?
August.
Bernice is like, bad time. I'm gone.
Oh, Dan, why don't you say who our special guest is tomorrow?
Tomorrow night on NorCal Sports Network after the Giants game, right about 9:15, we'll have Ned Coletti join us.
Nice.
So
talk a little Sharks hockey, Giants.
Yeah, we'll get a little Sharks hockey in there too, guys. They just had the NHL draft.
Right.
The Sharks drafted a really big-time goal scorer out of the what do they call it? The Ontario Hockey
OHL.
OHL. Yeah. And
I believe they got a guy out of the Western League, Dan. He's the first. He's Chinese.
Yeah, they got a Chinese player too. Their first pick of the second round.
Interesting.
6'5" goalie.
And a lefty goalie.
The Chinese player was the second round pick. They picked the goalie.
Yeah, but later on they
picked a left-hand goalie. Yeah.
Yeah, they picked the goalie in the end of the first round.
Yeah.
And a left hand. And I think it would be good to have Ned tomorrow to ask him, hey, if you were the GM, what would you do?
It's going to be spicy.
Have fun with that.
Oh, boy.
After you make one trade, what do you do? And I think, just talking about, I think Buster said that trade for Devers took 3 weeks. So that tells you.
That's what he was saying. Yeah.
It takes a long time. And you got to have both sides, and you got, there's a lot into it. So I just wanted to make sure for the show tomorrow night, hopefully Giants can give us something to talk about positive.
Yeah, hopefully. Let's hope. Hopefully,
that would be nice. It's a web start, man. It's a web start. So let's go.
Yeah, gotta win.
I think.
Does that mean it's going to be a win?
Yep. Let's go. Come on. Come on. Focus.
Eric, it's baseball.
Good God, man. Come on.
All right, guys, we'll get
Let's
out of
get outta
here. And thanks
Giants
for
baseball will kill you, boys. It'll
thanks
take
for
its
being
toll.
here. What's their
Nothing
record now?
like it.
What is their
Nothing
record?
like it.
Oh,
45 and 39, 44
something
and
like
38.
Yeah, it's 6 games over.
6 games.
So they're one game under since the 8-1 start.
That's
Yeah,
right.
they are exactly 45 and 39. So, hey, they.
Oh, yeah, we missed this. Hold on one second. Miss Tommy Murphy's. Thank you for the $2. Should we trade Devers and rebuild the farm? No.
No, but I would not destroy the farm in 1 year.
There's not a lot there to destroy, though.
But
to
what
be
little
honest.
we have. My
Yeah,
biggest
yeah.
concern, I touched on it earlier,
Yeah.
and I don't want to harp onto it, but if we make a big splash, the trade deadline, guys, and then all of a sudden you're into the end of August, you get into September and you go, geez, we just lost 2 guys to injury. What do we do? What do you do? What are you going to call it? Mystery call-ups? Like,
Hey, all you could do,
catcher's been cut 5 times.
all Posey could do is to get out, build the best team he can, and it's up to the players. That's it. Put it on the players because that's
Well,
where it belongs.
They've
No
let me
Yaz
down.
batting fourth, please. No Yaz
Yeah.
batting fourth. Either lead him off or bat him 8th. I don't want to see him in the 4 spot.
And no in the
please.
middle. No in the
I hear
middle, top or bottom or nothing. How about on the bench? How about on the bench? Lou?
Hey, even better. Even better. All right, let's get the hell
I
out
gotta
of
get
here.
out.
Yeah,
Thanks,
we'll
guys.
see you guys,
feeling-
and we'll
you feeling
we'll
better,
talk
Dan?
all tomorrow. What's
How's
that?
your back?
Getting
How's your
better.
back?
Getting better. Yeah, thanks. It's getting better. I'm out
Good.
of that severe pain that was on the nerve. Now I'm just dealing with the surgery pain. It's but
I just popped a couple. I was on the plane for like, I don't know, it took me like 14 hours to get here, and flights delayed, and then I end up seized up my back. I'm such pain today.
the back pain is not fun.
Nope.
It'll
not
never
fun.
go away. I've got it the rest of my life is the problem, and I just live on
Yeah.
it all day,
Yeah.
killing me.
Well,
But anyway, see you guys next Sunday.
Yep. Next Sunday, do it all over again. It's going to be the end of the A's series, as a matter of fact.
Well, that's right.
Be a good show.
Oh, wait a minute. Is that a night game?
Ooh, it's a night game. So
Yeah.
do you want
Yeah.
to come on during the game or do you want to wait till after? It's going to be
That's
late.
a
It's
late. It's a
kind
7
of
o'clock.
talking 9:30, 7:05 start.
Are they 7:05 or 8:05?
7:05.
Check your local listings. We'll let you know on both.
Yeah.
channels.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
guys,
we'll figure
most
it out.
importantly, everybody have a safe 4th so you can make it back. next Sunday.
Yes.
Don't blow off any
Exactly.
fingers or no
There
don't
you
lose any
go.
digits along the way.
Exactly.
Yeah. And what I love about this show being on, you make new friends. It looks like I made a new friend tonight. And just wanted to say to Don Capo Posey, love you too, Don.
Oh, Lou, you can have, or Dan, you can have him. He and I don't quite see eye to eye on my
I
show.
think it's Grand Admiral Posey. I think that's who it is.
Oh, is
Oh,
it?
it is.
I'm pretty sure it is. I'm
Oh,
pretty
that's
sure
Dan.
that's
Wait a
who it
sec.
is.
One more thing before we go. Dan, when you're doing your show, have you had any we've got a major change to our StreamYard. We
Yeah,
don't know
that's-
who's who anymore.
Really?
It looks like they're fixing it a little bit on here.
Ours
I'm
was
starting to
coming
see it
up
a little
with
bit.
your real name or your real hand,
Yeah.
like at whatever. And I'm like, who the hell's that? And I'm getting mad. And Eric's like,
For
oh,
example,
don't-
this is Fossey. You see how they got
Yeah,
the at
Foss.
symbol?
And then Robert
Right.
was the same way.
Yeah,
But
it's
some don't match at all. You don't know who they are. And they have
Now that
different
might
avatars.
be Fossey might be in your chat tonight because I don't know if we fixed Fossey. I think we got it fixed.
yeah. I fixed them during Marty's show.
We aren't
Or-
friends because I don't even know who you are. You're a fake, dude. You hide behind a pseudo name and a picture of Posey. You're a nobody. You're a bot. You're a clown. So
At
no.
least Chardall comes in with his face once in a while.
All right, I think it's a good time to get out of here. All right, guys, enjoy the rest of your Sunday night. Goodness gracious.
Have a good
And,
week, guys.
enjoy.
See you next
You
week,
guys have a good week. Again, it's 4th of July week. Don't forget what that's all about. Again, guys, see you guys next Sunday.